Hello everyone, my name is Mike and this is the Bored Cyborg. I don't have a clever intro. Welcome back to yet another episode of What's in the Bag, which is my version of the pickup video. The DVD, VHS, Blu-ray, video game, anything film or video game related pickup video. And I'm going to go through all these pieces one by one, discuss them a little bit, tell you why they're in the collection. Let's do it! Alright, so today I've got a stack of Blu-rays bigger than my DVD stack, which is always exciting. And I've got a small stack of books as well. Yes, books. So, stay tuned for that. First up, we've got Don't Mess With My Sister, which is such a strange title. Weird vibes going on there with the sister sort of latched on to the brother. They look like they want to fuck. Let's not beat around the bush here. Don't Mess With My Sister. This is by the same guy who brought us I Spit on Your Grave, which is a film I've yet to see. And, yeah. Next up I got for free, because it was a buy one, get one free at the Restore. And I figured, sure. Quarantine 2, sure. Why not? It's a found footage film. I'm sure it's abysmal. The Quarantine wasn't that good. Wreck is one of my favorite films ever. But we'll try it. Quarantine 2. Why not? Now, I recently made a trip to 2nd and Charles, and no, I did not film in there because it was sort of a day for me to unwind and look through all their movies and just try to enjoy myself. I needed a bit of a break, I'll say. And I picked up this, an anime from the 80s that I've been really excited and looking for quite some time. This is supremely out of print. Very hard to find this. I got it for $10 at 2nd and Charles, and had a bunch of trade credit anyway. Don't know much about this. All I know is it's classic 80s anime, action, sci-fi. That's why I own it. You guys know how much I love that genre. So, 5-star stories. It's got a really cool set, by the way. It's got this little thing that serves as the information on the film. And then that. Yeah, nice little set. So, really cool. Next up, Magnificent Butcher. Got this from 2nd and Charles as well. This was a Sammo Hung film that I didn't have, that I thought I did. This is supposed to be one of his best, one of his funniest, one of his best action ones, and I believe he directed this, so yeah, Magnificent Butcher. Samurai Princess. When I was up at 2nd and Charles, I also went to trade it and got a whole bunch of movies for really cheap. And so Samurai Princess, I picked it up because it's a samurai film. So I'm on a quest to pick up and collect all of the Christmas Story movies. This will add another one to the collection. Albert Finney in Scrooge. So, Christmas Carol film from the 70s with Albert Finney as Scrooge. Looking forward to checking this one out. I found this one at 2nd and Charles in their clearance section for $1, I think it was, $1 and change. Alibaba and the 40s Thieves. This one, has my name all over it. This is like a 40s action adventure film. It's going to be whitewashed beyond belief, but hopefully it's fun and not too cringy. That is Alibaba and the 40 Thieves. Next one I got for a few bucks at 2nd and Charles, The Outfit, a 70s cop gangster crime film. Looks really good, has a Robert Duvall there. So, yeah, that's all I needed. Robert Ryan, Jodan Baker, Karen Black, directed by John Flynn. I just saw something that John Flynn did. Forget what it was, but yeah, cool stuff. The Outfit, a film I had never even heard of. You guys know how much I love 70s crime, so The Outfit. This one was awesome to find at 2nd and Charles, but I did spend a good $10 on it. It's out of print. It is hard to find. The St Francisville Experiment. This is an early, an early found footage film, but a late 90s film. It came right after Blair Witch Project. So, and it is a full moon film, I believe. I think it's directed by Ted Niccolo or David Dakota, one of the full moon mainstays. And so yeah, an early found footage film. I have to watch this because I'm a huge found footage fan. So the St Francisville Experiment. This one was cool. I got this for a couple bucks at the same place, 2nd and Charles. Los Vampiros de Coyoacan. The Vampires of Coyoacan. This is Mexican luchador horror with vampires. Mexican wrestlers and vampires. That was Mexico's thing. I want all these movies. They are ridiculous and fun. Got this for next to nothing. Another one I picked up at Trade It for 50 cents was Flash Fire, an early to mid-90s Billy Zane, Louis Gossett action movie. That is all you need to say. Directed by Elliot Silverstein. Never heard of him. This is an early 70s version of Alice in Wonderland. Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. I collect all of the Alice in Wonderland films. I like a lot of them, and anytime I see one that I don't have, I'm in. This one's from the 70s. I didn't have it. I was in. Future Zone, the sequel to Future Force, a really bad David Carradine action film. I didn't know it had a sequel, and when I found out that it did, I had to buy it, because I'm a glutton for punishment and shitty 90s action movies, especially ones with sci-fi elements and David Carradine. I'm gonna stop talking like this now. That is Future Zone. Alright, now we're getting to the Blu-rays. A lot of hole fillers here. A lot of these I picked up either at Trade It or the bookstore for $1 or $2. Never more than $2 here. Number 1 is Burn After Reading. And I'm going to kind of go through these pretty quickly. Joel and Ethan Coen. The Coen Brothers movie, Burn After Reading. Pretty good. Not one of their best, but still a really good drama comedy. Beerfest. Got rid of my DVD and got this. Picked this up on Blu-ray for next to nothing. And Beerfest. I like this film. I like the Broken Lizard movies. I think they are a unique brand of humor. I love Club Dread, or I did when I saw it the first time. Beerfest is another one I really enjoy. So, can't go wrong, with a few friends and some beer, and Beerfest. It's a fun movie. This one I've heard really bad things about. The Fourth Kind. But again, this is sort of a pseudo found footage film with Mila Jovovich, of all people. And from what I understand, they intersplice, real footage of UFO, alien abductions and stuff. So, I'm not expecting much from this, but it is in the found footage realm, and so, thus, I have to have it. The Fourth Kind. The Secretary. Another one I got rid of on DVD to get the Blu-ray. Came into the job, the bookstore. Heard really good things about this. This is more of a straight-up drama, like a dark comedy drama sort of thing. And don't know much about it, but I've heard many good things, and I love the two involved. James Spader and Maggie Gyllenhaal. So, Secretary. The Fantastic Mr. Fox, a Wes Anderson film that I haven't seen yet that I need to see. I fell in love with Wes Anderson after watching The Grand Budapest Hotel, and I am now on a mission to collect all of his films and sit down and watch them. I think I'm going to really love this one. It's animated, it's got a hell of a cast, it's a heist movie from what I understand. I hear it has some great action sequences. That is the fantastic mix. Next up, another hole filler. I would say my least favorite Darren Aronofsky film, but still a film that I need to revisit, and I'm sure I'm going to get more out of it next time. I was just left, reeling, what just happened? That is The Fountain. And I do, like I said, need to rewatch this. Hugh Jackman, who else is it? Rachel Weisz, really trippy romance film that takes place over multiple generations. And I gotta be honest, I just didn't really get it. So, I'm going to check out The Fountain again. All I know is it was visual poetry. It's always going to be a visual treat when you go into an Aronofsky film, but I didn't really pick up what this one was putting down. Maybe next time I will. The King and I, another one that definitely deserves to be in the collection. This was one of the earliest examples of a widescreen film, anamorphic, and beautiful Technicolor, and Yul Brynner. I love Yul Brynner, and he was just such a talented dude. Anything he's in, I'll give a shot to. This is a musical, but I'm sure I'm going to be swept away by its beauty, its elegance, its regal nature. So, Anna and the King, or The King and I. This one I picked up on a friend's recommendation, and anytime there's an animated film that's supposed to be really good, I want to at least give it a shot. So, that is My Life as a Zucchini. Now, this is more of a dramatic animated film, maybe some comedy as well. Don't know anything about it, but sounds pretty... I don't know anything about it, but I do know quite a bit about this bad boy. Kingdom of the Spiders. I actually recently sold off my 2 DVD copies to fund this beautiful Blu-ray by Scream Factory, and I finally have one of my favorite 70s flicks on Blu-ray. William Shatner as Rack Hansen, fighting away real big-ass spiders, mostly real, and it's just a fun creature feature with a hell of a Twilight Zone-esque ending. William Shatner being William Shatner to the 10th power. Kingdom of the Spiders is fantastic. Next up is going into the disaster film collection. That is San Andreas. I am a disaster film fan. I am a fan of The Rock, even though I think he chooses some not so great films like Skyscraper and other stuffs he be in. But I want to check out San Andreas because, like I said, it is a disaster film. I'm hoping that it's fun. That's all I want out of my disaster films. If The Rock's going head up with some motherfucking earthquakes, I'm in. Another disaster film I picked up at the bookstore at the same time, Armageddon. Michael Bay's Armageddon. I saw this one in theaters and cried like a little baby at the end of it, and that is what has prevented me from watching it again in 2019 up to this point. Now, I mean, I don't mind crying in films. I cry in almost every film I watch. What I'm saying is, it's gonna rip my heart out again, and I remember really moving me and really enjoying the film in theaters when I saw it back in the early 2000s, and looking forward to giving this one a whirl at some point again. Obviously, I'm a huge Bruce Willis fan. It's got a great cast. Michael Bay. Can't wait to check it out again. Oh, I can, but I can't. You know what I mean. Next up is Angel Cop. Didn't see that one coming, did ya? Sold off my DVD copy that recently went out of print, and then the Blu-ray copy went out of print shortly after I bought it, which is great. I've only seen the first episode of Angel Cop, and it was really damn good. It's my sort of anime from the late 80s or early 90s. This one was from, I want to say early 90s, 94, mid-90s. So, Angel Cop. Really cool stuff. Don't remember much about it because I only saw that first episode years ago. But looking forward to breaking into this series again. Angel Cop. Released by Discotek, by the way. They do a good job. I have my problems with you, Discotek, but ultimately you do a really good job. So thank you. The next one I found at Big Lots of all places for $3. The 70th Anniversary Collection Blu-ray of Double Indemnity. How insane is that? I've not seen this film, but I know it's a noir classic. I was so excited to see it for $3 at the pawn shop. This goes for $20 easily. I'm sorry, at Big Lots. And so I had to pick it up. I felt like I was stealing from them. Awesome. Double Indemnity. Requiem for a Dream. Everybody knows this one. Darren Aronofsky's film about a whole bunch of drug abusers. Really messed up. Really disturbing. Really awesome. Really moving. Darren Aronofsky, one of my favorite directors. One of his best films. This one I picked up at the bookstore. Really glad I found this because the American release is very out of print for these films, actually. Ace Ventura 1 and 2. I am a fan of these films. Upon a rewatch recently, the first one had some glaring issues, I'll say. But overall, I really do love the physical performances that Jim Carrey gives us in these films, and that's what these films are all about. That's why they're worth watching. Even in 2019, his physical performance is fantastic, especially the instant replay thing where he's like, he's off, he is off. It's just a tour de force of physical comedy. Ace Ventura 1 and 2. The Blob! I picked this up on DVD at the bookstore, sold the DVD, picked up the Blu-ray. Not a huge fan of this film, as many of you may know, but I am a fan of Kaltiki way more than The Blob. I love Kaltiki. I think it's a far superior film. Talked about that recently. But The Blob on Criterion Blu-ray. Definitely had to have this for the Horror Criterion collection. It's a dead shack. It's a little dead shacky shack. Dead Shack. Watched this for the first night of this last October, and I had a great time with Dead Shack. Really cool little Canadian horror flick with some cool ideas, practical effects, great characters and chemistry, and just a fun, pretty gory time. I was hoping for a little bit more gore. The back really led me to believe that it was going to be a gore fest. It's really not. It's really more about the three main characters uncovering this really sinister situation that's going on in the middle of the woods. Dead Shack is pretty awesome. Next up, The Man Who Laughs. I upgraded, sold my DVD for like $70, got this and made a bunch of money. I wasn't aware that Flickr Alley released it. I am so thrilled with Flickr Alley. They are true historians, giving us some of the best lost films here on Blu-ray. The Man Who Laughs is one I haven't seen, actually, so I can't really speak too much on it. But I'm glad to have it on Blu-ray. Next up, from overseas, because they didn't release it in this country because we're stupid and don't understand real action films, Avengement. I've done a video on this. It's actually one of my most viewed videos, believe it or not. Love Avengement, love Scott Adkins, love Jesse V. Johnson doing their thing together. Oh my god, make movies for the rest of eternity, you two. They're getting better and better. Avengement is incredible. Next up, Hacksaw Ridge. Picked this up because it's Mel Gibson directed. I am a fan of his work, and I want to check this one out. It's a war film. It's all I really know about it. Mel Gibson directed. That's why I picked it up. Next up, we got some books. First up, Dragon Ball, the first manga. I thought this was so cool as a fan of the original Dragon Ball, not of Z and the later stuff, but of the original Dragon Ball. I had to pick this up for like $2. It was marked at this bookstore. Got it for $1. Pretty cool. Dragon Ball, the manga. Here's an example of some of the artwork there. So, really cool. The beginning of the saga. Next up, my jaw hit the floor when I saw these guys. Nausicaa, the original trade like comic books here. Paperbacks. Now, this is only like 3 and 4, and I do own them in a big, beautiful special edition, but these were so cool to find, I had to pick them up. I got them for 50 cents each, in fact, $0.25 each. So, Miyazaki's original Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind, one of my favorite films of all time, hands down, no question. In fact, if I ever have a daughter, I'm going to urge my wife to name her Nausicaa, because I think it's beautiful, and I think what her character represents is beautiful. Next up, I need to get another piece of tape. Heavy Metal. I can't really show the contents of this because it's very adult and very dirty. If you know heavy metal, you know what I'm talking about. This was awesome to see come into the store. Picked it up for a couple bucks and got my first heavy metal magazine. I'm a big fan of the film from the 70s. How cool is that? Heavy Metal, an actual heavy metal magazine. Awesome. Got it for a couple bucks. Next up, I did spend a few bucks on this at the bookshop. I bought it new. That is the Swamp Thing. After watching the Swamp Thing show that was urged upon me by my coworkers, I got into the golden age. I'm already reading it, as you can see. It's awesome gothic horror. DC doing gothic horror. It's incredibly cool. I love it. I love the Swamp Thing. I'm falling in love with the character. So, awesome. Just look at the artwork here. Oh, just look at the artwork. It is just phenomenal. 70s, beautiful artwork. Last but not least, the Blair Witch Project. The book. This is a really cool book that has a whole bunch of like letters and interviews, all mock interviews and letters, of course, but it just adds to the lore of the Blair Witch Project. This came into the store and I had to pick it up. As such a huge fan of the Blair Witch Project, I had to pick this up. How cool is this? Yeah, it's got all this like, mock information here about the characters and whatnot. Really cool. The Blair Witch Project, the dossier. I just want to thank you guys for checking out this video, my latest What's in the Bag pickup video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to leave down in the comments below what my favorite item that I've picked up recently was. I'd love to get a discussion going, as per usual. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up, and if you're new to the channel and want to see more videos like it, feel free to hit the subscribe button as well as the little bell for notifications. Anyway, guys, I will see you next time. Bored Cyborg, out. Peace!